Hi, Dave from Informed American here, talking about the next flashpoint in American politics. I'm sure you all seen the major news that last night Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed at age 87 of metastatic pancreas cancer. She had been battling that for a while, and she finally succumbed, unfortunately. And it's a bit sad, really, that you can't really mourn the nation can't necessarily mourn the death of a Supreme Court justice without it instantly becoming a fight. And that's what we saw. Certainly, I saw that all over social media last night. And people basically, it's all about who's going to be the next Supreme Court justice. And for some reason, our system is essentially, I think it speaks to the fragility of our system that it seems like everything hangs in the balance based on who the next Supreme Court justice is. And it shouldn't be that way in an ideal world, but we don't live in an ideal world. We live in the world that we're in now, and we have to deal with things as they are. I'm sure it's hard to say, shocking is maybe not the right word because she's been ill for so long. But it was surprising news. And then, it essentially, and I said, unfortunately, adds more fuel to the fire of what's going on. Now, I want to show something here. I don't know if you saw this, Gus. I posed the question, and I want to know, guys, if you're watching, go ahead and comment below. Should the Senate move forward with a replacement for Justice Ginsburg, to replace her, to have 9 justices on the Supreme Court going into the election? And so go ahead and share your thoughts here. I don't know if you saw President Trump's reaction. And yes, I am here on a Saturday for all of you guys, by the way. I hope you're enjoying this a little bit of bonus coverage, but it is important. So I figured I would take time out of my Saturday. I got some chores I got to do. Maybe it's better to do a video and talk to all of you instead of doing some of the things I wanted to get done. No, that's going to happen after. But anyway, I'm going to play this video. President Trump was at a campaign rally, and he's walking his way, I believe, on his way to Air Force One. And you'll hear music in the background. This is just a surreal video. You'll hear music in the background. He basically, I guess he hadn't been told the news. He's first told the news that Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg had passed by, I guess, a reporter who was just standing there near the Oval Office. So you get a complete visceral reaction from President Trump, his first reaction to hearing the news about Justice Ginsburg. I'm going to go ahead and play this. It is some really interesting video.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Thank you very much. Ballerina, you must have seen
her. And there that is. I mean, that's like something out of a movie, guys. Just to get that kind of a reaction, seeing the president's first reaction to the death of Justice Ginsburg, and you could see, she's an amazing woman. She lived he seemed very much taken aback. He did sort of like, whoa, hold on, that's crazy. And then it does seem a little bit shocking. But here's where we are now, and the question is, what's going to happen next? And by the way, I saw all over Twitter, I saw all over Facebook, this idea basically, if Mr. McConnell, if you push through another confirmation process, well, there's going to be riots in the streets. I saw some hinting at that again, and it just shows just how polarized this thing is. Now, what you'll hear over the next coming days, and if you're not already hearing it now, is parallels to the situation in 2016. President Obama had nominated Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court to replace Justice Scalia. And by the way, Justice Scalia, who was one of the most conservative justices maybe ever, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who may have been potentially maybe one of the most liberal justices, certainly recently. Her and Scalia were actually great friends, and it seems to be that my impression. I don't know too much about Justice Ginsburg, but that she was sort of a classical, or not classical liberal, but basically an old school liberal, and she was able to. She was great friends with Justice Scalia, and of course he was a hardline conservative. She's sort of a hardline liberal, but yet they found a way to get along and to put some of their differences aside and be friends and be able to be civil to one another. And that's just not something we see anymore. It's a bit sad actually to see it because Scalia has passed. Back then in, I believe it was late 2015 or early 2016, and now Justice Ginsburg, sort of those two, iconic left and right, but they were able to come together, and that just doesn't exist anymore. That's not like it's not possible, because we just had it, not long ago, but we do seem to have lost something over the last couple of years, and it certainly would be nice to get it back. But if you remember the fight in 2016, we were heading into election season. Of course, Mitch McConnell held the Senate then as well. President Obama nominated Merrick Garland, and McConnell said, "No, we're just not gonna do it," and saying, as the presidency is held by a Democrat, the Senate is held under the control of the Republicans, and we're just not going to do this now, and we're going to see what happens with the election. Now you're gonna hear that same thing now. There's already calls of it for McConnell to wait, for the president to wait to officially nominate someone, and for the Senate to start confirmation hearings. And I don't know. What do you say? I mean, we talk about hypocrisy. Maybe it is hypocrisy, but at the end of the day, it's just there's nothing wrong or illegal or whatever about not holding hearings. It's up to the pleasure of the Senate. I mean, you don't want to keep a Supreme Court seat vacant for very long. But something also to keep in mind now, as we're hearing about, as I talk to all of you about the situation going on in the election, I mean, something may come back or may go to the Supreme Court as they litigate a winner for this thing. We might have another Bush versus Gore, and something to keep in mind if something like that does happen, the Supreme Court could potentially be having just 8 justices to rule, and so should there be 9 in the event that they need to decide something relating to the election. And we saw in the fight there about Pennsylvania allowing mail-in ballots, now Michigan allowing counting mail-in ballots up to 14 days. There's going to be lawsuits. I don't know, maybe there'll be a recount or something like that. So something to bear in mind that we could end up seeing the Supreme Court decide the winner of the election. Should there be 8 or should there be 9? So I just wanted to jump in here really quick just to throw this out here. I don't know if you saw that Trump reaction. I mean, that was I've never seen quite anything like that. I guess now there's cameras everywhere. We can see like in real time as things develop. And the question will be, and the fight will be, over the next, in a sense, should the Senate, of course, should the Senate have confirmation hearings, but in a way, I was talking also a couple days ago about where are we going here? COVID is coming down. The economy seems like it's coming back. The polls are tightening. President Trump had been making some gains, and there's always something new coming up. We didn't expect to have this fight, did we? I mean, just talking, a week or two ago, would we think we'd be having a fight over nominating a Supreme Court justice? So things change very rapidly, and we're here basically about a month and a half out from the election. So I just want to jump in. I want to know, go ahead and comment down below. What do you think? Should the Republicans wait for the outcome of the election to decide? Should they just move forward? You might hear there's not enough time. And I did check. I think there are 3 justices who were all confirmed under 50 days. I think Ginsburg herself in 47 days, and a couple others even shorter. I think one of them, I think maybe Justice Stevens was confirmed in only 19 days. Also, President Trump has had a list of, he's had basically a list of Supreme Court nominees since he ran for president back in 2016. And he updated that list just a couple weeks ago. I don't know if if he caught wind of something or not. Interesting. I believe Ted Cruz was on there. Now the front runner is Amy Coney Barrett. She was the one that many thought that Trump would nominate, but instead he nominated Brett Kavanaugh. So I think Amy Coney Barrett is the name to sort of maybe familiarize yourself with, and she's probably the odds-on favorite to be nominated. Now, Mitch McConnell, just to close here, guys, Mitch McConnell did say he plans on moving forward, but all of that depends essentially on what you'll hear from other members in the Senate Republican or the Senate Judiciary Committee, particularly Republican members. So someone like a Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, I believe Ted Cruz is on it. I'm trying to think of someone else, or Lindsey Graham is another one. So they may, you may look for signals potentially for maybe some of those senators to say, no, I'm not going to confirm until the election. So you may hear that from Mitt Romney, someone like that. Some of the more moderates. I think what Republicans, just not that I'm going to give them advice, but Republicans shouldn't listen to what Democrats say is good for them, and they probably shouldn't listen to anti-Trump people who say what's good for them and what's the right cause, or what's the right course, because that's not true, and don't listen to them. But it will be interesting. How will this impact the election? Will people, let's say they push through a nominee, and they confirm another justice, will that give more motivation for Democrats to turn out at the polls? Or on the other hand, will it turn out Republicans who are like, yeah, okay, these guys are doing what I want. They got another justice. Maybe when it comes down to something like Roe versus Wade, I want Roe versus Wade overturned. Here we go. It's not just all talk and no action. They actually have somebody in here who maybe we could overturn Roe versus Wade. I don't know. So what will that do to enthusiasm? I'm curious if you guys have thoughts on that. And yes, definitely let me know if you think. Comment down below. Let me know if you think the Senate should move forward with confirmation hearings to confirm a justice before the election. Well, thank you so much for tuning in on this Saturday. It's good to jump in here and talk to all of you. Of course, love it if you would hit the like button and share this. And of course, head on over to informedamerican.com. If you do happen to, of course, I'm live on Facebook right now, but if you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Well, thank you so much. I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.